There's a growing consensus that Iran was behind an airplane crash near Tehran that killed all 176 passengers on board. The question of whether it was a deliberate act remains open. It is important too as to how much that would escalate tensions with the US. The passenger jet had just taken off when it came down 15 kilometres north of Imam Khomeini Airport. Tehran is refusing to hand over the black box but claims a mechanical failure was behind the incident, a theory dismissed by the US President Donald Trump.
I have my suspicions. It was I don't want to say that because other people have those suspicions also. It's a tragic thing. When I see that, it's a tragic thing. But somebody could have made a mistake on the other side. Could have made a mistake. It was flying. It was flying in not our system. No, it has nothing to do with us. It was flying in a pretty rough neighborhood, and somebody could have made a mistake. Some people say it was mechanical. I personally don't think that's even a question, personally. So we'll see what happens. At some point, they'll release the black box. Ideally, they'd get it to Boeing, but if they gave it to France or if they gave it to some other country, that would be okay, too. I think, ideally, that will be released. I have a feeling that it's just something very terrible happened.
So Donald Trump there, it's always a little bit hard to pin him down, but clearly open to the fact that this could be a deliberate act by Iran. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau claims intelligence indicates an Iranian missile did bring down the passenger plane.
The news will undoubtedly come as a further shock to the families who are already grieving in the face of this unspeakable tragedy. We have intelligence from multiple sources, including our allies and our own intelligence. The evidence indicates that the plane was shot down by an Iranian surface-to-air missile. This may well have been unintentional. This new information reinforces the need for a thorough investigation into this matter. Canada is working with its allies to ensure that a thorough and credible investigation is conducted to determine the causes of this fatal crash.
So, carried out by Iran, but the important caveat, an indication it could have been an accident, a blunder from Iran's military. Prime Minister Scott Morrison has backed that claim and gone a step further, saying the tragedy was an accident.
Australia has received similar intelligence to that which has been spoken to by both the Prime Minister of Canada and from out of the United States. This underscores the terrible nature of these events. All of that intelligence as presented to us today does not suggest an intentional act, and that is the basis of the information that has supported the comments I have made today.
Not being definitive, but that's the indication from Australia. This is important, of course, because if this was seen as a deliberate act by Iran, well, it could have consequences for those tensions with the US. Britain and Canada are calling on Tehran to grant access to the crash site. Sky News reporter Deborah Haynes filed this report.
The moment of impact. No one disputes the devastation when a Ukrainian passenger plane smashed to earth in Iran. The crash happened hours after Iran launched a barrage of missiles against US targets in Iraq. It made the tragedy an extraordinary coincidence. Speculation swirled online that an air defense missile might be to blame. These images of part of a Russian-made surface-to-air missile were circulated on social media. Experts in verification, however, are yet to confirm if they're genuine or when or where they were taken. Tehran dismissed the missile theory as illogical rumour. But Ukraine wants independent answers and has sent its own team of investigators. They'll want access to this, what appears to be the black box flight recorder. If a missile strike is confirmed, it would be a huge embarrassment for Iran. It would also be another tragic twist in its bitter dispute with America. Deborah Haynes, Sky News.
And the US House of Representatives has passed a resolution to stop the president from taking further military action against Iran without congressional approval. President Donald Trump ordered an airstrike last week which killed a top Iranian commander in Baghdad. In retaliation, of course, Iran attacked Iraqi bases housing US troops. The US president has told a rally of his supporters in Ohio there was an urgent need to end the general's rampage.
He was looking very seriously at our embassies, and not just the embassy in Baghdad, but we stopped him, and we stopped him quickly, and we stopped him cold. Now, we got a call. We heard where he was. We knew the way he was getting there. And we had to make a decision. We didn't have time to call up Nancy. They want us to tell them so that they can leak it to their friends in the corrupt media.